Hey, Bah-wee-gran-na-weep-nini-bon. Hey?
Bah-wee-gran-na-weep-nini-CRUNCH.
Oh, there's not much left in me. Brightness, help me.
Hello and welcome back. Yeah, that was a preview of the cat sitting behind me. That's Kiki. My daughter's cat. Now, I want to get back into the TCG. There's a few base cards that I've been trying to add. And we need to get back and finish a lot of things. Because I'm not done. We're not done. So let's just take a look at a few of these. I'm going to have to get these. I'm looking right out of the Magic Set Editor. They're not completely done. They don't have the little base card sticker on it from Paint 3D. Right now, it's still working because it's not updated. They don't update it anymore. And I think it's the only kind of Photoshop type of program I have. I haven't bought one, and that was once someone here on YouTube mentioned it years ago, and I'm like, really? And sure enough, it was in my laptop, and I'm like, I've been having fun ever since. So let's look into some more base cards, and let's reprise a little bit, because the base cards are a new type of card. It's not an action card, and we have many types of action cards. It's not an upgrade. It's not it's not a secret upgrade. It's not a rolling action. It's not a hybrid secret action or anything like that. It's not even what did that one group do? Where they're actually sideways. What was my grandfather's joke about the opera German diva who they asked her to turn sideways, and she said, "I have no sideways," or something. Anyway, bad joke. But golly, it really goes way back. But anyway, the base cards, if you're playing against another player, and they have some too, it just needs to be kind of in the middle, kind of like a Pokemon arena card or something like that. Kind of in the middle between you and them, and there should be like one spot for them to kind of go into. It's going to affect both sides of the table. It's going to affect both of y'all for the good or the bad. And when one is put in place, if there was one already there, whether it was yours or your opponent's, it gets scrapped. It goes into your scrap pile. If you're playing with base cards, you can have up to 3 Energon cards in a separate pile. So when you scrap a base card, you can get an Energon card. Now, during my tests of playing this way and playing with Energon cards, I'll put it this way, they eventually can get put into your deck after you've used them, you've gotten them on characters, and your opponent is scrapping upgrades off your characters, and they go into your scrap and they get into your deck. And then I've made some cards that I need to reprise, and concerning Energon, to where you can get it out of your scrap and get it back in your hand, or out of your scrap and back onto your character, because they are an upgrade utility. When all it does is give 1 across the board, +1 attack, +1 health, +1 defense. And when it comes down to it, in a lot of my tests, they're nice cards, but they're not very strong. And I found myself not wanting the Energon cards, even though they were a nice perk to scrapping a base card. Okay? And I changed the rules. You can have as many base cards in your deck as you want. That's not a big deal. But you have to have at least 3 base cards to accommodate getting, 3 Energon cards. If you don't, and it all goes towards your whole total of your deck. Okay? The base cards start in your deck. They have a back. They're not mission based. They're not a stratagem, etc., etc. And so, there's a little bit of added gameplay to the game that helps bring in Energon cards, but they don't start in your deck. Okay? So with that, and I've had to make some adjustments through I've got like 6 files of base cards here, guys, and some adjustments to especially certain types of base cards, especially if, like, do I have any in this file here? No. Excuse me. I've got a deviated septum or something. I've been doing this since 2nd grade. Is it? Let's see here. I found them. They were in the set I was already looking at. And it's like Burger Bot, which is double orange. All it's going to do is get each character has tough 1. Everyone has tough 1 on the battlefield. When it's scrapped, Energon is not awarded. Same goes with KO Drive-In, double blue. Gives everyone on the board bold 1 for battle. When this is scrapped, Energon is not awarded. So you can, have these double pip base cards, but if you have them, you might as well not have a stack of Energon. Sounds good, doesn't it? Stack of Energon, your max of 3 of the same card, of 3 Energon cards. If that's all you're going to use are 3 KO Drive-Ins and 3 Burger Bots in with your deck, to have access to that nice padding of extra orange and blue, whether it's you and your opponent, well, if that's the only base cards you want, I don't want to deal with all this, well, then you're not going to get Energon. Because when you and your opponent are knocking these out, no, you're not going to get awarded, no one's going to get awarded Energon unless you have some other base cards in your deck to be able to knock those out to be able to get Energon. Okay? And then I also did a Tower in the Sea of Rust. Sky Temple, no. Where'd it go? Toward Nebula, not that one. And there are a lot of neat little base cards that are very interesting, very unique, that might seem not exactly hard to use, but maybe a good bit of, set up to really try to get pulled off in some ways. Space is the double black pip. Each character has Pierce 1 for battle. When this is scrapped, Energon is not awarded. Okay, so you could have, 6 extra cards in your deck with double black, 3 double black, 3 double orange, and 3 double blues to go with your handheld blasters and etc. But you're not going to be able to get Energon from these. Okay? You're going to have to get them from other base cards. And I've added some other base cards in here. At some point, I'd have to find them. I haven't done this in a while. I apologize. To be able to have that pile of Energon to be able to get them. Again, even as I said, in testing, I ended up not mattering that the Energon cards don't seem to matter a hill of beans. Okay? But I've also had some cards from the past that I've also integrated to where that have a little extra perk when they are on a creature, on a transformer with Energon. Okay? Like a lot of those cards that I was making from the Cyberverse kind of stuff. Okay? Like the Bumblebee chop. And some of those I actually remade some of those upgrades into hybrid secret actions, or no, excuse me, secret upgrades. Because I've been, it's like, let's try this. We have secret actions, why not secret upgrades, and let them be triggered in various ways to throw off your opponent. Okay? So I've been having fun playing around, adding stuff to the game to help throw your opponent off, even if they are not very strong cards. Okay? I ain't the Ark. Or the Ark I ain't. Alright? Checking my map, see where my wife is. So I only have 10-15 minutes here, guys. But let's look at just a few of these. At least a few new ones that I've done. Alpha Trion's Hidden Base. While this card is in the battlefield, again, that's just standard along the top of each base card to let you know when these happen. And it has to be in the battlefield. Each leader has Oppress 1, so when a leader battles, reduce both characters bold and tough by 1. Each leader has Stealth while untapped in bot mode. Okay, so there's that. Simple as that, but it is a hybrid black-green pip with the leader trait, so only leaders can get this on the flip if you call it green. Yeah. Okay, really mixing some stuff up here, really trying to throw some wrenches in here, because if you want that extra pierce, you're not gonna be, well, first of all, you call it pierce, only your leaders are going to be able to get pierce because of the trait. And you're probably, if this gets flipped during defense, then you're probably going to want to call it green to be able to get it in your hand if you want to, get the oppress in effect here. Okay, alternate Teletran is not ready. It's an image from one of the Skybound comics. Doesn't look bad. I think I flipped it. I could be wrong. Did I go over Axalon's bridge? This has been so long, guys. Blue-green, only the Maximals can get this on the flip. Otherwise, if you draw it, you can play it. Each leader and beast has tough 1 for battle. So you could mix this in with Alpha Trion's Hidden Base and maybe play with all leaders, or maybe get my Floating Throne into play, and whenever a Floating Throne is on a character, boom, they have the leader trait. When a utility is equipped on a melee character, the player may flip another character they control. Armor upgrades cannot be played by either player. So this is going to prevent armor upgrades from being played from you playing them, or even your opponent, okay? But if you have a utility on a melee, you may flip another character to another mode. Doesn't matter which mode. So is this worth it to get the extra flip? I think so. But it's... So, okay, the way I have this worded, it cannot be the melee player. If you have a utility... There's a lot going on Axalon's bridge here. So you can see, and this is rare for what it is. Let's move on. Bus stop. Well, that was a little loud. Hybrid white-blue. So, you might want to call it white on the offense, blue on the defense, green pip, anybody. This is a basic, so there's no faction. Axalon bridge. That needs to be maximal. I'm gonna have to recreate that one. Okay, so let's get back to bus stop. Come on. I'm really running out of time here, guys. Each plane has Oppress 1 when attacking. I didn't have room put in the parentheses, so yes, if you have a plane, if they have a plane, and y'all are battling, and one of them is in alt mode with the plain trait, then you both have to, bold one and tough one, oppress one when attacking. Okay, some of this you have to go, okay, you're not assuming anything, you just have to know what oppress stands for. Each truck cannot flip to bot mode for turn. Each motorcycle has bold 1 and pierce 1 for turn. And then the normal base card in play once introduced and remains in play until another base card is played. That is standard for every base card. It should be in there. If it's not, let me know, and I need to change it. Now I've fixed this, but Darkstar Ship, there's a lot of ships that are base cards. Now, who was it? They made ship cards, and I didn't go that route. I'm just like, hey, let's make the ship cards base cards, and I started that way. Darkstar is from one of the old comics. Looks like a Marvel comic. It's blue and green. Only the Autobots can get this on the flip. It's an Autobot faction card. Each leader has Pierce 2. I have for battle. It might need to be till end of turn. When a character on a team is KO'd, the active player draws a card. So basically, you can take advantage of this. If you knock out one of their characters, you can draw a card. But in retrospect, so can they. Okay? And that's all this is. This is all this is. It's giving leaders across the board Pierce 2, and if you or your opponent knocks out each other's character, the active player can draw a card, and that's going to be at the end of their turn. Okay? Which in turn, no pun intended, if they pull a base card, and here's another refresher, you can only play a base card at the start of your turn before you draw for turn. I have tested this and tested that. This is the bet. You cannot play a base card during your action, playing an action and an upgrade, but it takes up one of those cards. Okay, so you can't play a base card, draw for turn, and say it's your second turn of the game and go, oh, well, I can play a base card, I'm drawing, oh, I can play an action and upgrade. Wrong. You can only play an action or an upgrade if you've already played a base card. Okay. Did we go over Delphi Medical Outpost? Hybrid white-green, when a player at least repairs 1 to a character they control. The other player repairs 1 to a character they control. You're welcome. So that goes for you. If you're getting repair and you play a medic, they can repair 1 to one of their damaged characters. Okay? It at least repair 1. So if you're repairing 2 and maybe you have that utility that is able to, on a character, you're able to repair them even 1 more, you may get 3 repair, or say your opponent gets 3 repair, you can at least repair 1 to one of your characters. Okay, or even this works both ways. So you got to be careful with some of this stuff. Energon Transductor, orange, green with Decepticon. Only Decepticons can get this on the flip. When a defender flips at least 2 greens for battle, the attacker scraps the last card flipped before adding damage. Okay, so if you're defending against your attacker, normally, if y'all really get into the flow of the fun of the game, and you're both like flipping at the same time, I'm attacking, I'm defending. Well, that's also how it's supposed to go. They're supposed to attack. If they're attacking, the attacker flips their cards first, the defender flips their cards next, and if the defender flips 2 green cards, then the attacker has to scrap the last card they flipped for battle before you add damage. So that's the Energon Transductor. A Fallen Omega is a base card that is not finished yet. Let's see. Occupied Base. Another image from Skybound. Not finished yet. Soul. A Planet. Not finished yet. We looked at Space very quickly earlier. Let's go back to the top. I'm running out of time. My wife is almost here, guys. That looks cool. Female Autobot base. This has got a lot going for it here. White with the car trait, green with the motorcycle trait. Each character without a weapon equipped in bot mode has Pierce equaled to their total attack until end of turn. So let's say you're using, I don't know, is it Wave 1, Elite of 1, who has an attack of 7 in her bot mode? She now has Pierce 7. Attack 7, Pierce 7. When a player plays a card from their deck as a result of a character ability, they may draw a card. I wonder if I need... I think there was a character that I was thinking of. I wonder if I was thinking of Chromia. Or one of I think there's one of the female characters, Autobots, that does something neat with the green pips, and maybe that was what I was thinking here. And if you do that, it's going to give you some draw power. But then again, you know, it's going to affect your opponent at the same time. They're going to have the same ability, but they may not be thinking of your base cards. Okay, but if they are able to take advantage of it, they're going to be able to take advantage of it. Elevator cage. We'll end on this. White, green. Characters cannot flip to alt mode for turn. Yes, that means you too. It means the owner of the card. It means your opponent. So if you're able to, let's say you're not playing with a combiner team, and you have characters that you're not trying to flip for advantage, for, you know, when this flips, give all your characters bold 1, when this flips, draw a card, when this flips, whatever, which is when most of the original triggers, you know, flipping to alt mode has some really neat effects. We have very few characters where when you flip to this mode in bot mode, there's some triggers. So, you know, choose your characters wisely. If you want to use elevator cage, you might, if you have so many base cards in your deck, it might be just a nice throwaway card to have it be out there temporarily, to knock it out with space or something else to be able to get the Energon. But if you knock out space, the the KO drive-in or the Burger Bot, any of the 2 restaurants, okay, you don't get Energon. Which sounds backwards. I love it though. So things to think about. So that's all I have time to go over with right now. And we're looking in the final set, my base card 6 file. There's so much more that I've done. I'm not trying to be pertinent. I just like adding to the game. If you like the base cards, let me know. We'll see you next time. Throw Scraplets at that like button. I like that card too. We'll have to go over it again sometime. As always, thanks for being here. I appreciate every single one of y'all. So much more to come. I got to work from home for 2 days because of a meeting. We'll see you next time. As always, Autobots, let's flip out and let's roll for it.